As you can see, I went ahead and renamed my layers so they make sense to me. So I have my clouds, and I have all these details. The details are just pictures of farm machinery so that we can add all kinds of interesting detail to the hull of the ship. All these machined parts which will look great, especially because the object is so far away. Now what I want to focus on, and the only layers I have the eyeball on, is the house and the ship. The first thing we can see right away is that the ship doesn't look exactly like it's in the distance because it's too sharp. So what we need to do is add some haze so it looks more realistic. And I'm also going to experiment very quickly with the size of this and see whether I want this to be kind of massive or not. So I'm going to go ahead and resize mine and just see how it looks. It's one of those creative things you have to do when you're working, just to get a sense of scale. And I think that looks a little too even with the house, so I'm going to just shrink that back down just a tad. There we go. Now what I want to do is I'm going to add a layer, and I'm going to put that on top of the ship layer. So click on the ship layer and then click this icon to create a brand new layer. And rename this layer Haze by double clicking in the words. So once again, Haze. On this layer, select a gray color like so in your swatches. And then let's go ahead and fill that layer in with that color. Now go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. Doesn't matter if you use uniform or Gaussian because we're going to blur this. So we're going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And I have a radius of about 20 pixels, which looks kind of good. I'm going to hit OK, and now I'm going to simply drop the opacity of this layer down. Now we have this illusion that it's more in the background this way. Something else we can do, by the way, to reduce the effect of this is to add a layer mask. We'll grab a gradient, and let's make sure that we have the foreground color to transparency selected. And what we're going to do is up here, going to click and drag like so. That will keep some of the haze above, but get rid of it below by using this mask. I'll go ahead and right click to hide this mask just to show you. Before we have the haze everywhere, and I'll re-enable the mask, and now we have the haze just covering the ship. Just one of those great tricks that you can use with a layer mask and a gradient. Alright, now let's go ahead and continue and start working with our clouds. So I'm going to click on one at a time to see which one has the most visual interest to me. That's why I often take more than one image so I can go ahead and see what I like here. So I'm going to go to my clouds layer. I'll scale that up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is just kind of see whether I want to use this one or the other one. So I'll go ahead and click OK. And then I'm going to go back to my layers and quickly hide it and just try to visualize whether that looks cool or not. Now I'll go to this one and do the same thing. The interesting thing about when you're working in Photoshop is that it's a non-stop creative process. Nothing is absolute and everything's an experiment. And as you work, you'll find that you want to change things on the fly. Now look at these clouds, by the way. See the direction they're going in? It'd be kind of interesting to have those clouds kind of going this way. So it looks like the ship is actually moving these clouds with its power. So I'm going to take those clouds and I'm going to press Command or Control T and I'm going to flip it. And I'll move it over like so, and I'll just drag this handle on this side to flip the image. And I'm going to hit Enter or Return to accept that. And what we're going to do again is we're going to add another layer mask on this guy with a gradient.